am live here in Madge Scott's studio in Dobbs, Ferry, and today we are talking art, right? So the first thing I want to show you is me. Does that look like me? So this has taken over my face.
In progress.
So
work in progress.
So Madge, you want to tell me about me? Tell the audience what they're looking at when they see this, because
it's a pencil drawing of you, Miss Janet, and it's almost finished, and so it was a joy to draw your portrait. It really was it's one of those portraits that I drew with such ease.
Tell me why. Tell me how. Let's tell the audience how you captured me in this.
Well, again, with this portrait, it's mostly personality. You have that vibrant personality that just comes out, and so it is very easy to capture that.
Okay. Now, I'm looking at here and I'm seeing all this in front of me, and I wish I could just take up the camera and show the audience everything you have here. There's so much.
So many.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to kind of turn the camera a little bit because you have one piece that you're working on.
Yes.
Besides Janet.
Yes.
Yeah. Besides Janet,
this is what I'm working on right now.
Okay, so I'm going to get up and turn the camera just a little bit.
This is actually what I'm working on right now. I'm almost there with this piece. Just a few little things that I have to do with the piece, and I'm finished with it.
Okay, so I'm going to pick up the tripod here, and I'm going to turn this around and then come back to us so you can take a look. Let me do that. Let me change the orientation on the camera here, and I'm lifting it up. This is what I am seeing, and I came here a month ago, and just to look at her studio, there she is. So let me just show you exactly what I came across when I came here. Is she beautiful? That's Madge. Now look. This is her studio, and by the way, April is, talk to me, Madge.
April is the month that we have our annual studio tours in the river towns. So it's sponsored by River Arts, and on April 27th and 28th, 2 days of the studio tour, everyone is invited to come here to view our work and to purchase our work. It's very important. That weekend is a very important weekend for us, because that's the weekend that the artists really depend on the public to come in and support our work by not just talking about our work, but buying our work so we can keep our doors open.
Right. So Madge, I have you on camera there, and I'm gonna try to probably flip it back and come and sit with you. But what I'd like you to do before I get back around there is tell me a little bit about your international exposure in art. When I came here a month ago, let me try to flip this and come back around. Yep, so we're coming back around. Here we are. Let me try to reposition ourselves here. When I came here a month ago, I looked around and I was awed, and I asked you, we kind of try to talk about art and how you're viewed in the international sphere, and you gave me some idea of what parts of the world your art goes to, and I don't think your friends know. I'm serious, because I didn't know. Don't think your friends are aware of how valued your art is in the international sphere, and just how we'll talk a little bit about how you became an artist as well, because I was fascinated with that as also.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yes. So let's talk about how your art
Well, my art is all over. I think I have sold my art in Poland, to England, the Netherlands. I've had people come from France to buy my work.
Yes.
I've had a couple of Australians that flew in to see one of my shows. I have work in Barbados, Guyana. I'm always happy when someone from the overseas come and say, okay, we hear of your work and we are here to buy a little piece, because most of them tell me, oh, we can't buy a big piece, it has to go into our suitcase. But there is always a little piece that I can find for them to fit in that suitcase.
Have you ever had to ship your art anywhere because the demand was there?
I have shipped my work. As a matter of fact, I have a few pieces sitting here right now that we'll be shipping out in a few days. Some of them are close by, some it's not nearby. But I do ship my work. But right now, I don't ship overseas unless it's a print.
Okay.
Because it's much easier to be shipped overseas.
Right. So I just want to remind people why I'm here. And I think we have to.
This portrait was actually done.
That's better.
With a pencil, graphite pencil.
Okay.
This was done with 2 pencils at least, an HB and a 2B pencil. I'm working with. The portrait is not completed. When it's finished, it will be to her great satisfaction.
No, it's already looking good. It's a work in progress, and it's already looking good. And so, I came here about a month ago, and I wanted to do a live show with you, but my allergies and boy. So guess what? I still have the allergies.
Yes, but you're welcome here with allergy or no allergy.
But what I hate doing, and I have not done much live videos this month because it's the coughing and it's draining, and so I'll be back home next week, so I can probably grab some folks and do some events there. But I want you to talk about when you have someone coming into your studio and you have their face, what you do with it to get it to look the way you want it to look, because there's no sense in taking the snapshot or making the person over in an image. So
if you bring an image for me to do a portrait, you're going to bring a photograph, and I'm always thinking that if you needed another photograph, you wouldn't have asked me to do this portrait for you.
Right.
So, I'm at least going to change it a little bit.
Right.
Especially for the person that I know, like you.
Like me, I'm always grinning, right?
So I actually gave you a wider smile.
Always grinning. So can you see that grinning smile there? So she captured my personality because she knows I'm a grinner, right? So, real quick, how did you become an artist?
Oh, that's a big, long story. I became an artist when my son went missing. I don't remember if I told you that story.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I became an artist. I did not become an artist then, but as the years went by and things fell into place, I decided, there were questions that I was asking myself. I had to finish this. This was, after my son returned home and we realized that he was okay, I decided that this thing was, I had found my daughter's little paint set, through the rubble in her bedroom.
Right.
And I decided, why is she throwing this out?
Right, right.
So I was very frugal in taking that little paint set into my bedroom.
Right.
And I said, maybe one day I'll try to paint. You know?
Right.
So when my son was missing and I had all of that stuff here, I just picked it up. It was sitting on the dresser. I picked it up. And I pottered around with it. And I liked what I was doing. And it was about a few months or before Princess Diana died.
Wow. Okay.
Yes. And then I started seeing all of those beautiful photos in the newspapers. And I started to play around with the photos and the paints and stuff. And it just dawned on me that I needed to draw.
But the interesting thing that I want to let everybody know is you didn't go to art school.
No, I'm self-taught. Everything that I do today, except for a watercolor class that I did yesterday, I'm self-taught.
Yeah.
And it's never sat in a classroom to learn art. I just go by what comes out of me.
And that's what I find amazing, because you have a unique style, and you've even captured your unique style with my drawing, my pencil drawing here. I can pick out your art anywhere, and I can't explain that distinct look. But if somebody showed this to me, I'd say Madge did this. It just has a certain look. I'm a strategic manager, and I do branding and strategic planning, and your brand is so distinctive that if somebody really knows who you are,
yes,
you're right. And so you know that. So you've branded yourself. You weren't taught anything at all. Everything just came from within.
Everything came from inside of me. Everything came out. And there was a time when I decided that, it was like a conference between what's inside of me and me, you know.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to, because there were a lot of things that I wasn't finishing. Right. And I told myself that I'm going to finish this.
Right.
I'm going to finish this one.
Right.
And so with that determination, I only strive to do better and to, and by reading, I've read a lot of art books. And I have read that if I do it every day, I will be a success.
So tell me now what you'd like people to do in terms of visiting this event that you have, because you have so many paintings here and on display. So explain.
On the day of the studio tour,
what date is that?
On the 28th on the 27th and the 28th of April. It is always difficult to actually sit down in a conference with anyone because it's busy. People are coming in, people are, back and forth. And so it's not easy to just sit with one person and talk about the work. Because
right.
It's the flow of people coming back and forth makes that difficult.
Right.
So I would always encourage people that if they want to talk to me, to actually find or make an appointment for another day if they want this one-on-one thing.
Right. But when they come to the conference, will you have your art on display?
Yes, my latest pieces will be, the studio will not look like this.
So they're actually coming here?
Yes, they come into the studio.
Right, and can you tell us where the studio is legitimately? Literally, people want to come in.
My studio is at 145 Palisade Street in Dobbs, Ferry. And the zip code is 10522. The number of my studio is Studio 334F, upstairs on the 3rd floor.
And if I get lost coming here, like I always do, I have to call you and say, Okay,
Yes,
so where's my stop again?
You can always call me on if you know if you're you can always call me if you're having difficulty, or send me a message, and I'll get right back to you.
Right,
You know, but it's very it's very easy to get here from the city.
Right, because I took the train.
Yes.
And I got off at Hastings, and then I took a cab here.
Yes,
So
but
it's
you can
really
also get off at
Dobbs Ferry and take a cab
And
here.
and no, there's no
There's
cab,
no cab over there.
in Dobbs Ferry, but
Okay.
you could walk. It's within walking distance, depending on which route you decide to take. Whether you're coming across the football field, or you're going to go up the hill and come over, but it's easier to get off in Hastings.
And so that week, how many studios are in this building here?
Oh, quite a few of them.
So when folks come up to look at your art on the 27th,
they can yes, on the 27th and 28th.
there are other studios here.
Yes, I'm not the only artist in here. There are many other artists in the building that you can. It's a variety of work, but I'm the only one that is of color.
So you're the only artist in this facility as color. I forgot to bring that out.
Of color.
Right. And we also have not only paintings and drawings, we have sculpture.
Yes.
Because Neil showed me.
Yes. There's sculptures. There's, everything. Watercolors, everything. Because with me especially, I have a variety of work. I work in watercolors. I work in inks. I work in pencils. I work with charcoal. So there's a variety of things that I do, but I can't have everything out here.
Right, of course.
All of those things right there.
Right.
Those are actually pieces of artwork in those bins right there. Those are original pieces of artwork in those bins. Original pieces of artwork all over the studio. You're not looking at prints here. You're seeing
original work.
Everything that you see here are original work that I have done over the years.
Right.
And especially since my son passed away, the same one that was
got
missing,
you into art.
that got me into art,
right,
has passed away. He passed away at the end of 2016. And during the year 2017, I actually created most of my work.
Okay, so what I want to do before I close is we're Jamaicans, right?
Yes, we
So
are.
I'd like you to talk about the Jamaicans that you painted or you've drawn. And I remember you told me, was it Nanny? You did?
Well, I've painted Nanny, I've painted Sam Sharp, and a lot of them are boxed up because when people ask me to do these Black History Month shows, those are the pieces they're asking me for.
So you created.
So I created a group of, I have Sam Sharp, I have Nanny, I have Paul Bogle, I have a few others that I have. But when I'm going to do a historical show, I have Mary Seacole, So when I'm going out to have a historical show, I take them with me.
No, I want you to talk before we close about Mary Seacole because you educated me the last month when I was here because I just didn't know that history. So real quick.
Mary Seacole, I have her over there in that pile. She was she was in Crimea. She was actually there with Florence Nightingale.
Right.
In the Crimean War.
Right.
And she actually did most of the work in the Crimean War.
And she was what now?
But because she was
Jamaican,
she was
right?
black. Yes.
Right.
She was she was actually a mulatto.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But because she was black, they never
acknowledged
who she was or gave her the whatever awards she should have gotten.
Right.
They gave it to Florence.
Right.
And so now that everything is being exposed about the work she did in Crimea.
Right.
they're shuffling now England to sort of make good of the whole deal. With Mary Seacole. But Mary Seacole actually taught herself most of the nursing that she did.
Wow. It's like I taught myself holistic health.
Yes.
Because it was just in my bones. And so
Yes.
And let me tell you a story about how I managed this allergy since I got here on March 5th. I pulled out my toolkit, which is, essential oils, herbs, and you name it, the things that I usually use for respiratory issues. And I used it for 3 weeks. And, it subsided. Somebody didn't completely go away. And so my family got a little bit concerned and said, go to the doctor. Go take medicine. So, of course, I'm obedient. You're within your family sphere and they're concerned. So I didn't want them to fret. So I went to the doctor. The doctor gave me medication. And I took it for 3 days. And I regressed. And the Thursday, I had to do a presentation on the Friday. And the Thursday night, I said, you know what? Right back to my stuff. So I doubled up on all my essential oils, all the herbs, and I just doubled up that Thursday night. And Friday morning I got up and I did it again because I used some of the oils on my body where my lungs, is. And by the time I got to the conference on that Friday, I was able to talk. The morning when I woke up, what am I going to do? I was coughing. And that's from medication. So I said to my family, I said, see? So my sister-in-law, since I've been there now for almost 6 weeks, and just from talking to her and walking her through lifestyle changes, her diabetes has dropped between 80 and 100 points when she takes it in the mornings already. And so I'm giving her other remedies that she can use to bring it down. So,
So I may just have to rely on you for my diabetic medications as well.
I can give you some of the pointers. But it's just showing when you have a passion for something and you do it. Look at your art and you're not taught. How many people are taught and they're not as good as you are?
Well, I think my work was actually discovered.
Okay.
My work was discovered. I didn't just go out there and it happened. My work was discovered because when I moved to this area, a friend of mine that invited me to move to this area, she went crazy telling people about my work. She was like, Florence, she told, and so a couple of people decided, let's go see what you're talking about. So they came and I began to pull stuff out from under the sofa to show them, and they gobbled it up. They actually bought 2 or 3 pieces right there.
Wow.
And then they talked about, planning an art show. Right. For me. And I was a bit nervous, because at the time I was working for Kenneth B. Clark.
I don't know who that is. Educate me.
Kenneth B. Clark is the psychologist.
Okay.
That did the Dobbs study. He and his wife, Dr. Mamie Fitz Clark,
right.
did the Dobbs study for the Brown versus the Board of Education.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
But, at the time, Doc was alive. And every now and then I would take in a little piece of my work and show it to him.
Right.
And Doc, I could see how his eyes.
Right.
Doc, Doc had these expressive eyes.
Right.
I could see how Doc's eyes would light up when he saw my work.
Right.
And one day I said to him, Doc, do you think I'm ready to show my work? And his eyes just lit up. And he bowed his head because he was not very verbal.
Right, because he was
yes. And so when I had that show, I think Doc had passed on when I had the show.
Right.
But when I had that show in 2005, on the Saturday, no one came except yes, none but one came.
But look where you are today. So you start small.
Yes.
Were you discouraged?
But no, but my husband was at the time.
Okay.
He was very discouraged, and because of how I run my life, I said to him, if you're gonna go start this, don't come tomorrow. if you're going to have this energy, don't come tomorrow. Right. So the Sunday would, the space that I was in belonged to the church, the Reformed church.
Right.
I was in their space of their fellowship hall.
Right.
That was the gallery they set up so I could have that show.
Right.
And so on this Sunday, my husband came, but he didn't say a word because he knew how I felt, how I was feeling towards all this, and my expectations. And so after 12 noon, I had to abide by the principles of the church.
Right.
So after 12 noon, I opened the doors to the room I was in. I had taken 31 pieces there.
Okay.
And I sold, by 3 o'clock, I sold 16 pieces.
That's amazing.
And the next day, someone called me and asked me, how did the show go? And I said, I sold 16 pieces. But the way in which I said it, I was like, because I never knew. I didn't know a thing. And she came and she bought hers, which made it 17. And another lady called me and said, I heard what happened. And she said, you're a master. I said, what do you mean? Because I really didn't know what was going on,
Right.
And she came and she got her two pieces as well. So within 2 days, I sold 19 pieces.
Out of the 31.
And
this was your first show.
And it was my first event.
So what I want to tell people, my audience, your audience that's listening today, and I encourage entrepreneurs to go after your passion. See, Madge was not trained formally in art. And for those that are just joining us, say hi.
Hi.
Or if you're catching us on the replay, then you'll be able to see the art that I showed at the beginning of the video. So we're going to close now. And I just want to show you again, for those that didn't see it, that joined us late. This is my piece that she's working on. And when it's finished, we'll let you see it again. But on the 27th and the 28th of April, join my sister here. She's my sister because we're kindred hearts. And she's my big sister because we went to the same high school in Jamaica.
Yes, I went to Montego Bay High School, of course.
So all the Mobay Heights that are out there, support our sister on April 27th and 28th.
Not just the Mobay Highs. The
Mount Alverna.
Mount Alverna girls can come.
Right.
The Cornwall College boys can come.
As a matter of fact, everybody
can come.
Anybody that's watching us now, or if you're watching us on the replay, invite others.
Invite your friends. Invite your family.
Right.
There's always a little piece in Madge Scott's studio for someone to find.
Right.
Something that is reasonably priced. Something that is affordable.
And if they can't find anything, right?
If they can't find anything, I'll create it. And if they can't pay for it all at the same time, they have my layaway.
And maybe you should tell them that you have a picture that you can display for them of Bob Marley, but you won't sell it. But you can probably paint another one for them.
But, sure, I have a painting of Bob Marley here. But, if the person wants to meet me where... we could do a business with the painting. But
make a deal.
There are always prints available.
Right.
If a client wants a print,
right.
Dear Prince, they can get off the piece. And as you see, there are so many of my work here.
And I think I said Vanji. Sorry. Hi, Vanji. We're seeing you. Vangela, I can see that she's watching.
Hi, Vanji.
Look what my sister started of me. I hope all my fellow sisters will support her by having them do something for them, because as entrepreneurs we need to support each other. We're all trying to live our passion and provide a valuable service, and when you do something that is inside of you, you give it your all, and then you're getting the best results from us. So
the River Art Studio Tour 2019, we are here. We need your support. And, this year in particular, I personally need more support than ever. So come on out and lend me your support. And if you can't pay for it at the same time, I have my layaway. So please remember that. All right?
And again, I'm going to say, for those that's catching it now late, please go back and look at the replay. You'll see up front where I showed a bit of what's in the studio right now, and she has others in boxes that are original pieces as well. So
you haven't shown much of it because you want them to come.
Absolutely.
We want them to come and see what's here.
Absolutely.
So, I have tons of art here.
Right, but I gave them a taste.
For people to see.
I gave them a taste of the wall to see what your brand was like, so they can get a flavor.
The little village that I was born in Jamaica.
Yes.
It's called Catadupa.
Okay.
Catadupa.
Yeah, I know of Catadupa.
Up there beyond Cambridge, and it's snuggled between Cambridge and Stonehenge. There's a painting here, which is not for sale, of Catadupa. And you see, that's a painting up there.
Okay,
of
Let me see if I can show anyone that picture there before we close, and then we're gonna close. So you want me to show that Catadupa?
Yes.
That Catadupa one, and that's it right there.
Up there.
Can you see it with all the? I don't want to zoom into it because I'll have problems zooming back out. And so that's it. So we're gonna close today, and with closing, I guess I should just show you some of what I'm seeing here before I close.
Show them Nana up there.
Which one is
the
Nana?
Green dress.
Green dress. Great. Okay.
Yes.
And who's that now? Tell me. There she is.
Yes.
The green dress.
Yes, she is the last person that we know of in Jamaica to have cut her face. The markings, the African markings.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And is there anybody else on this wall that is connected to our culture that I can show? Or
well, one of my cousins is on the wall there.
Okay.
She's with the big blue.
Is this one here?
No, the big blue rose in her head.
Okay, that's your cousin.
That's one of my cousins. She's from Richmond Hill.
Okay.
And everybody here is of our culture.
Right.
They're all people of our culture. That lady up there in the white dress is representative of Nanny.
Okay.
So I have if I can stand. If over here you have some of my most recent paintings that I have done,
right.
And here is my self-portrait over here beyond this piece, which I will take up. This piece is on here.
So that's you.
That's me. And there's Bob Marley over there somewhere.
Oh yes, I'm seeing Bob. Let me see if I can catch him over here. I don't know if I can catch him, but
if you can't, it's okay. They can see Bob if they show up. So
there's Bob snuggled in the corner over there, right?
Tons of other work.
And tons of other work.
Work.
So we are going to close now, and mwah, mwah, mwah. One last piece. Can you see that? Can you see that girl up there? Don't know if it's showing. But bye-bye. See you on April 27th and 28th. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.